Hey, it's Mr. Bass. How's everybody doing? I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about fishing from the bank. Usually fishing from the bank means you're fishing a pond or you're fishing a small stream. And I have learned over the years when you're fishing from the bank that less is more. And for years and years, I've just overkill. I've tried every tackle box known to man practically. I've tried big tackle bags, small tackle bags, backpacks, tackle bag boxes, hard tackle boxes, all kinds. And there's problems with all of them. But one of the things that I've realized when fishing from the bank is that for me, it's about reducing the amount of weight that I carry. I don't want to carry a lot of weight. I want to carry something small and compact. In fact, a lot of times if I can grab a rod and a couple of packs of baits and just cram them into my pocket, I'm great with that. And a lot of times I'll do that if I'm just picking one technique that I'm going to fish and just rock and roll. But sometimes you really need an arsenal of baits. You need quite a few baits. And so I'm going to show you today what I think is the perfect bank fisherman bag or pond fisherman bag, however you want to look at it. If you're fishing from the bank, you're not in a boat, this to me is the perfect setup. This thing is not technically a tackle bag. It's kind of what they call an all-purpose bag from Cabelas. I think Bass Pro makes this bag now as well. When I bought it from Cabelas a few years ago, it was $9. Now it's $13 at Cabelas. It has an outside zipper pocket on the front and the back. It has a zipper pocket on each side, and then it has a main compartment. It's got a shoulder strap, it's got a handle, and it's even got like a little attachment here that you can hook your clippers or your nips or something on if you want. To me, this is the perfect pond hopping bag. I take this thing, throw it over my shoulder, go to my spot, drop it on the ground, fish, pick it up and run. This thing, fully loaded with everything I need, including terminal tackle, only weighs 6 pounds, and just barely 6 pounds. Now, it's going to vary depending upon how much lures, how many soft plastics, that kind of stuff you put in there. So let me show you. I'm going to break this out. I'm going to take everything out and show you what I carry in my ultimate bank fishing bag, and maybe it'll help you. Hopefully it will. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is show you my terminal tackle, and I keep it right here in this side pocket. You might be surprised how small it is. I've got one little Gamakatsu tackle box. Got my sticker on there, and if you open it up, it's got these compartments. I don't know, maybe 15 compartments, and I've even labeled the compartments so that I know what's in there. I got hooks, I got O-rings, I got swivels, I've got beads, rattles, I've got bullet weights, I've got bobber stops, shaky heads. Pretty much all my terminal tackle that I need is pretty much in this little pocket-sized tackle box. I can throw this tackle box in my pocket. It fits right in the back, just like that. I'm ready to rock and roll. The only thing I don't have in here is if I want to do a specialty technique. There are some techniques that I don't include in my pond bag. Like I don't have anything in here for a drop shot. I don't have anything in here for several of those kind of techniques that I don't really feel like I'm gonna fish with in a pond much. If you live out in the West Coast or something and you throw the drop shot a lot from the bank, then you maybe need to include that. The only other thing I have is I've got a little plastic tube of swim bait hooks because I do like to throw a swim bait in the while I'm bank fishing a lot of times, just a soft plastic swim bait. That's it. This is my entire terminal tackle setup. How about that? If you want, I'll do a separate video where I show you every single thing that's in my terminal tackle box. Next, on the opposite side, I've got one spool of line. And the only reason I take one spool is the vast majority of time, that's all I need. I don't need a lot of different line sizes. So what I do, this is a 16-pound fluorocarbon. For me, fluorocarbon's kind of the all-around general purpose line, and 16-pound test is heavy enough that I could use it for any technique if I run out of line or need some more line. So that's all I carry, one spool of line, and you gotta have something smelly. I got a bottle of smelly jelly in here. Sometimes I will put like JJ's Magic or something like that in there, but that's all I carry there. Then on these outside pockets here, all my soft plastics go in here. So if I take this one out here, you'll see I got quite a few soft plastics. I throw a chatterbait on when I'm bank fishing a lot, so I've got several packs of diesel minnows that I throw with my chatterbait. I like to have one that's kind of got a bluegill color. I like to have a darker color like a black and blue. I like to have a white color. I also throw Senkos. This is a 4-inch Senko. I like to throw a 4 and a 5-inch Senko, so I got a pack of 4-inchers. On the other side is probably my 5-inchers. Then I like some versatile plastics, like this is a flipping and pitching bait that I can flip and pitch with if I want, but it also makes a good jig trailer, chatterbait trailer, that kind of thing. Same with this. I can flip and pitch this Rage Menace all by itself, but it makes a great jig trailer. It makes a great chatterbait trailer. Here's my 5-inch Senko. I only take one pack. One pack of 5-inch generals in this case. Sometimes I'll take the Senko, sometimes I'll take an Ocho. I also throw the Ned rig a lot from the bank, so I usually carry a couple of packs of Ned rig baits. And all I need is just a plain straight TRD. I don't get fancy. I don't bring the craws with me. I don't bring the hula grubs. I don't bring anything but just plain straight TRD baits. I really like this Chartreuse color for little, if I need a little brighter. And then this PB&J color works well. It's natural and does me fine. Then I also like to have a couple of chigger craws. Again, different colors. This is a real natural, like green pumpkin. This one's got a little more chartreuse in it. 2 packs of 3-inch. I go with a 3-inch chigger craw, not the 4-inch. And I do that because when I show you the jig that I like to throw at the pond, I need a smaller craw for that. The chigger craw works great at the 3-inch size. The beauty of the 3-inch size, though, is I can also put it on the back of a chatterbait. And a lot of times I will do that. So that's kind of double duty. I also like to throw a swim bait, like I showed you the swim bait hooks, and usually I only carry a couple of packs of swim baits. I love the Little Dipper. I also love the Exo Swimmer. I love the Kitech Fat Swing Impacts, and this is one of my favorite too, the 5-inch Swim Senko. This is basically a Senko with a paddle tail. It works great to swim it, but you can also fish this as a regular Senko. You can even pull the tail off, fish it just like a regular Senko if you're in a pinch. So 2 packs of swim baits. And then I also always like to have a trailer for my spinner baits. And this is all I need, is the split tail trailer from Zoom. That's it. That's all I need when I'm fishing from the bank. And that covers a ton of different techniques, as you will see here. Let me put this back and then we'll open up the main compartment. So one of my strategies when I'm fishing from the bank or fishing from ponds is I want to try to not get snagged or hung up. If you get hung up, you're probably going to break your lure off and lose it forever. So I try to throw weedless presentations most of the time. I always carry a frog, some sort of a hollow body frog. I left this one in the package just so that you could see this. Normally I'm going to take the frog out of the package and it's just going to throw in here anywhere I can find a spot to put it. I like these Leapfrogs by Z-Man, but any soft plastic hollow body frog will work. Z-Man has a couple of sizes, and when I'm pond fishing, I like the smaller size, which is the 2.25 inch size. Only carry one. Sometimes I'll throw in a black and a white. You always need a pair of pliers, a pair of needle nose pliers to get the hooks out. These are just the standard that you can get. This has luge printed on it. It also has a wire, a line cutter on it. And I've got a little case for this thing, so I take this out of the bag and put it on my belt. That way I can get to it real easy, and I don't have to dig through the bag for it. I also have one little tackle box where I put kind of some hard baits and stuff in. Let me show you what's in that. All right, one of my very favorite bank fishing lures, pond fishing lures, without question, is the Chatterbait. Chatterbait is my go-to. I'm throwing the Chatterbait almost always the first time when I get to a body of water, like a pond or a little stream, a creek. When I'm throwing from the bank, I love reaction baits, and I'm going to throw reaction baits first to try to find and locate the fish. So my favorite bank fishing Chatterbait has become the cross-eyes Chatterbait, bladed jig by Z-Man, because it's got these weed guards on here, 2 stiff weed guards right here and there. You can bend them out if you want, you can bend them up, and they will stay in place. And they're just what the doctor ordered for fishing from the bank. So I pretty much stick with one size. I throw the 3/8 ounce size, and I throw the cross eyes most of the time when I'm standing on the bank. If I get in my kayak and then get out on the water, then I'll start throwing not just the 3/8 ounce size, but the half and larger, and I'll switch to the jackhammer or the Thunder Cricket. But I really have gotten turned on to these cross eyes Chatterbaits for bank fishing. Love them. The next thing I have in here are Mepps Spinners, and I prefer the number 2 size or the number 3 size for fishing the bank, but I will carry a 1 and a 0. Just various different colors. To me, this color here, it would give you a nice bluegill look. I also will throw white and more chartreuse, but I have several of the Mepps Spinners and Rooster Tails that I will throw in here and keep in this little pond box because it's a finessey presentation. It's a little more subtle and finessey than the Chatterbait is, and a lot of times if they're a little more finicky, you can definitely catch a lot of fish on that. You can catch panfish on it as well. As far as my jig, this is the jig that I throw. This is a Strike King Jitterbug mini jig. I throw the 1/4 ounce, which is the heaviest they make in the Jitterbug, I believe. And you can see I went ahead and put a 3-inch chigger craw on here to show you how well it pairs up on this little Jitterbug. This is a fantastic bait. The smallmouth love it, the largemouth love it, the spotted bass love it. And for pond fishing, it's light enough that you can keep it high in the water column, or you can let it go to the bottom. You can bounce it off the bottom. That 1/4 ounce gives you enough weight to do that. And the other nice thing about this bait is because it's small, because it's compact and light, it's kind of easy to get it through cover, around cover, and that kind of thing. When I'm in my boat, I usually fish a bigger and heavier jigs, but I like the Jitterbug for sure when I'm fishing from the bank. Now I've got a few topwater lures, and I do throw a lot of topwater on the pond. One kind of tried and true bait is the Whopper Plopper. This is the 90 size. This is the size I usually like to throw, or a little smaller, but usually this is the size I throw. If they're not hitting this, if for some reason it's too big, I need something a little more subtle, I like the Jitterbug. The Jitterbug is a good old school lure for ponds. It's just a great little topwater lure. I have a couple in here. They're both black. That's all I need really is black. They do make it in different colors, but the black's always done me just fine. Another topwater lure that I'll carry, and I only carry one, is a popper. And I don't throw the popper much, but just in case I need it, I usually carry one smaller popper. This is kind of what I'd call a normal size, but it's the smaller size. I also have some finessey crankbaits. I've got a couple of lipless crankbaits that really, in my mind, are more for panfish. The bass will hit these though. They are small. This thing's maybe 1.5 inches long. Here's another one that's a little smaller. So I just have a couple of rattle traps, and then I have about 5 or 6 square bills in different sizes, shapes, and colors. They're all small, as you can see here. And just depending upon water clarity. I don't like to throw crankbaits with treble hooks when I'm on the bank, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to get hung up and lose them. The reason I don't mind throwing topwaters with treble hooks is because they stay at the top of the water column and you usually don't lose them. So the only time I'm really throwing crankbaits is when I've kind of tried everything else and nothing else is working. Then I'll break out these crankbaits. But that's kind of the only box that I have in my tackle bag here. I also have a marker, a highlighter, and I like this one because it's got chartreuse and red in one marker. And I carry a wacky tool with the O-rings on it. And then I really love these zip bags, and this smallest size of the 6 cent zip bag. These things are super high quality, great bags. It fits perfect in this bag. If you don't fill it too much, you can fold it over. And what I keep in here are things like spinnerbaits and buzzbaits that are usually out of the package. Once you take them out of the package, now I've got a few in the package just to show you before I take them out. But normally when I hit the water, none of these baits are going to be in a package. They're going to be out of the package, and they're going to be in here loose. But let me show you some of the other baits that I like to bring along. I like to always have at least one buzzbait, and usually one's plenty, like this Guggen Banger. This is perfect. It's 3/8 of an ounce. That's the size I'm going to throw usually on a pond. And black or white is about what I'm going to throw there. So I usually have one buzzbait. I will have several spinnerbaits because after chatterbait, spinnerbait is probably my next most frequently thrown bait. I will go as small as the 1/8 ounce, like this Mini King, Strike King. Works good in ponds. This will catch you crappie as well. But you don't have to use a super tiny spinnerbait like this. I usually go from this 1/8 up to the 3/8 of an ounce when I'm throwing a spinnerbait. Something like this Guggen Zinger is a really nice one. This is bluegill color, and to me, this color is perfect for fishing ponds on the bank. Most of the forage around here in the ponds or smaller bodies of water are going to be bluegill, and this Zinger just looks great as far as bluegill color in my mind, and that's 3/8 of an ounce. Here's another one. This is a really what I would call compact little 3/8 of an ounce. This is a Carl's chartreuse and white spinnerbait. I always want to have at least one chartreuse or white spinnerbait, or like this one, a combination of those colors. And then here's a couple more I've got just loose in the bag that I will throw a lot of times. I believe these are Booyah spinnerbaits. Here's a nice white one, Booyah as well, white and chartreuse. This is one for dirty water. It's got big thumping blades. I think this is a man's a man's spinnerbait. So that's pretty much my spinnerbait collection that I'm going to take to the pond. I also have a swim jig. I usually, I didn't used to throw swim jigs hardly at all, but a couple of years ago I started throwing them, and usually I like to have, again, some sort of a green pumpkin looking swim jig. That's all I've got in the bag today, but a lot of times I will also throw in a white one and also a black and blue one, and I only do one of each. I don't really, that's plenty. If it breaks off, you lose it, you can go to a different color, and if not, you can usually go to a different technique like the Chatterbait or whatever. So I don't do overkill. I use the same sort of trailers for my swim jigs that I do for my Chatterbait, so that I'm not, you know, I'm saving on room in the bag. So that is it. That's really everything that I need to have an awesome day of fishing on the water from the bank. You don't need a ton of stuff, but think of all the techniques that I've covered here. I've covered super finessey like the Ned rig and just a Senko worm fishing. I've covered fast moving from crankbaits to spinnerbaits to chatterbaits. I've got all kinds of topwater baits plus hollow-bodied frogs. There's a ton of options in this bag, and really, I'm not going to run out of stuff to do and stuff to throw in this bag. It's what I consider to be an excellent option for a great day of fishing on the water. All you need is about 13 bucks to have a really great tackle bag for walking the bank. I hope this was helpful and informative. If so, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, this is Mr. Bass. Happy bank fishing!